Hello and welcome. This is episode 9. I am so excited and happy to be here. This show is all about getting started in real estate by flipping the easiest type of property, land. And today I'm going to talk about how to complete your first deal in 45 days. And this is part 2 of 2. I'm extra excited for today because if you hang on to the very end, I have a special announcement of a I'm going to give away a whole program, Land Academy 1.0 and 2.0 for free. And I've never done this before, by the way. So this is a big deal. So hang on to the end and I will tell you all the details and how you can enter. It's going to be a drawing and it's going to be easy. And I'm very excited. I am Jill DeWit, co-founder of Land Academy, and together with my partner, Steve and Jack Butala, we have completed close to 16,000 transactions. We all know that there's money to be made in real estate, and most people are doing it wrong. And that is why I created this weekly live show. So every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific time, I'm here to help you connect the dots and get started flipping land so you can move on to bigger transactions and other types of real estate. Today is all about getting your first deal done in 45 days. So after I cover the steps, I'm going to open this up to your questions. So feel free to start loading them into the comment area at any time. I'll circle back around and I'll listen to them. I'll answer them. One of the advantages of being a land and property investor is not only being able to, buy property from anywhere, be anywhere, but I get to make my own schedule. So that means that, myself and you, one person, you could do this with a full-time career and still enjoy family time. And that's how most of us got started. So what this show is part 2 of 2, explaining, how you can do this on a realistic timeline if you really only have 3 or 4 hours on a weekend. So if you didn't watch last week, you're going to want to go back and catch that one. I covered weeks 1, 2, and 3. And here's what they are. Week 1, all you have to do is sit down and focus and thinking about picking a county to send offers. And I went into more detail on that last week, so you can go back and listen there. And then in our program, we go into great detail about really what we look for to pick a good county. Week 2, you should just be spending a couple hours on a weekend downloading and scrubbing data and then getting it sent to a printer for mailing. That's it. And then week 3 is calls are coming back. You're getting offers returned. Week 3 is about reviewing those returned offers and returning phone calls. So now, starting right here, we're on week 4. What's week 4? Purchase the properties. So by now, you've done your due diligence. That was week 3. And you isolated the best properties to purchase. So that means that you not only picked out the properties that had all the 4 A's, so you know that they have access, acreage, affordability, and some special attribute. Those are our 4 A's. But they also meet whatever your specific buying criteria is. And you've also confirmed that all the parties are available and ready to sell. Basically, I say AKA, they're alive and ready to sign. So now is the time to buy. So here you are, week 4. Well, how do you do this? There's 2 ways you're going to do this. You can either do a self-close, or we call it a notary close. Or the second way is you could do a traditional escrow close. So let me give you a little more explanation on the 2 different ones. To self-close, what you're going to do is you're going to arrange a notary that's local to your seller to handle the signing and the delivery of the payment. You're going to use the vesting deed, which is the most recent deed that you would have downloaded online, or maybe you got it from the seller. You would use the vesting deed to recreate your own new deed. And you're going to overnight that along with a cashier's check to the notary, and they're going to complete the deed and hand them the payment at the time of signing. Now, of course, there's all kinds of other forms of payment and more ways you can do this, but I'm just kind of talk about it in its simplest, easiest form for what we're doing right now. And one good tip I want to always remember and make sure you know is once that deed is signed, you own the property. It's important to know that because you could start marketing it and selling it right away. So usually when I'm doing this notary close, I would have the notary take a photograph of it for me and text it to me, and I see it. I know it's coming to me in the mail. I'm watching the tracking, and man, I could post that thing for sale right now because I technically own it. It doesn't have to be recorded, just once it's signed and notarized. So then the last piece, of course, is the notary completes that and they send it right back to you, and then you send it for the county for recording. So that's basically the steps of doing a self close or a notary close. So now the other type is just kind of doing a traditional escrow close. So what do you do that? First, call around for the best price. Let them know that you're an investor. Let them know you're going to be doing multiple transactions like this. Make sure you tell the escrow representative this is all cash, and no inspections and no contingencies. This is the easiest type of close to complete. They love it. You love it. They're doing the work for you. And it usually takes days instead of weeks to do this type of a close. So that's it. So that was your week 4. You spent a 4 hours, buying a property. And by the end of that, you own it. So now we're going into week 5. All right. Week 5, what's that all about? That is to market, to sell your property all over the internet. So remember I mentioned once the deed's signed, you, the grantee, you now own the asset. So where do you want to market and sell your property? Well, the easiest way, of course, that's online. What you want to do is you want to start with one great posting to showcase your property, and you want to copy that posting everywhere. So I'm going to show you real quick here what your posting should include. So your posting should include photos, and I don't want just 3 photos of the area. I want some good photos of, if you can get someone on that property and spend $50 going to go out there, that's what you want to do, and give them a list of shoot it north, shoot it south, shoot it east, shoot it west. I don't want snow on the ground. I want blue sky with puffy white clouds. I want really quality photos. That's what you're aiming for here. I want maps. I want GPS coordinates. I want a video. And if it's a quality property or a high dollar property, pay the extra money. Make sure you can do drone shots and get them to do a drone shot of your property. It's worth the money. If you're selling a $15,000 property, having a drone shot and awesome photos is going to make a huge difference. Description of the property with details about the access, utilities, if any, and if you don't know, or if there are not properties, utilities there, note that. Say, they need to be sought by another solution, kind of thing. Don't say at lot line unless it really is at the lot line. You want to include the price. That's important to have in there. And you want to include tax information. Tell not only if the taxes are current, put that in there. Also give them an idea how much the annual taxes are, so they know when they're buying the property what to expect. So basically, you want to include everything that you know about the property, a description of the area, why it's a great opportunity, and extra information that you think they might need to know about the property and or you. So if you want to see some great examples, go to landpin, landpin.com. That is our Land Academy member selling site. We do have others on there, but it's primarily our members posting property. And when you post property there, there's a checklist. You kind of fill in all the blanks, and it makes sure you don't forget any of the details when you're selling it. So now you know what to put in your property posting. This is week 5. Now you're thinking about, where all should I market my property? Well, let me show you. I have a list for you. Here are all the places that you should be posting your for sale property. First of all, your personal buyers list. It's going to start out small, but hang in there. After long, you're going to have a really good A list of buyers. And I usually blast that out to my buyers first. They kind of get first dibs. And I literally send them a spreadsheet with state, county, APN and my price. And they will immediately email me back and say, I want numbers 1, 2, 6, and 10. And let's do the same drill. And I say, okay, got it. And we have it down to a system. They just wire the money. I know how they like the deed prepared every time. And that's how we do it. So that's on the second, your website. The third place, social media. And I mean all over social media. We have a lot of members that are successful in places that you wouldn't think about, Instagram for one, Facebook for sure. Instagram, there's all kinds of things. Twitter, I mean, I post a property for sale on Twitter. Why not? Get the word out there. eBay.com, still a great place to sell property. I wouldn't want to put all my eggs in one basket, but this should be one of the places you post property. Land and Farm, Land Watch, Craigslist, MLS, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor. Now, most of these too, I use when I post things on the MLS, I have a broker that I go through, and the feed, when you post something on the MLS, most of them will be automatically fed up to many of these sites. So you don't have to think about it. And bid for assets. That's not a crazy place to be, posting property for sale. And you want to make a system. Don't get picky and think this property is perfect for Craigslist. This property is perfect for eBay. That's how that slows you down and keeps you from selling property quick. If you just put it in a system and every property, your postings, follow that template, and every single property is posted, all those 10 places, that's how you sell it fast. So this is the goal for this week now. This was week 5. Your goal was just to spend a couple hours on the weekend creating that fantastic posting and copying that on all those places all over the internet. Your goal is to concentrate on driving traffic to your website where your customers can easily review the property and pay right online. That's the goal. The right customer will do their homework. They will check out with a credit card and leave it. And you will just wake up in the morning and see you have a completed sale. Nothing's better than that. So now we are on week 6. So week 6 of the whole thing here is sold the property. Thank the buyer and deposit the money. Hopefully you have it set up. If you're new, you may not have it set up yet. You can have them wire you money, have them, send you a cashier's check and just say, hey, I'll pull the property down once it clears, whatever you arrange to do. And that's the greatest thing on the planet. I want to say too, it's important not to get hung up on any details that are going to keep you from buying or selling a property. Your website doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't have to have an LLC, this early in the process. You might be easiest. We tell a lot of our members, hey, just start out putting property in your name as you get going. It's okay to buy it and sell it in your name, and then get some payments coming in. And while you're learning and building the business and creating income, and make sure this is something you want to do. And then later on, you can invest in those things as you really take a step and grow your business. So that was it. So this week was just spend a couple hours of getting your payment in and processed and getting your deed prepared and mailed to your buyer with information on how to transfer the property. And then the last thing you do on week 6 is celebrate. So now you have a simple timeline, one completed transaction. As you can see, I just went all the way through, a couple hours on a Sunday afternoon, still plenty of time to watch football and get this going. And hopefully you doubled your investment. So what do you do next? Repeat. And if you can do 1, you can do 10. And if you can do 10, you can do 100. Thank you. I'm going to open up now. I'm going to still stick to my normal show where I'm going to give some time to Q&A time, answer any questions you have about this or getting started in land investing or Land Academy. Dream it up. And then in a few minutes, I'm going to give an announcement about how you can win Land Academy 1.0 and 2.0 for free. So let me jump over here. I see questions loaded up, so I am uber excited. Thank you very much. All right. Hi, Doug. Thank you very much. Doug says, hello, Jill. Happy to see you. Hi, Doug. I'm happy to see you too. Teddy, nice to see you. Thank you. All right. Let's see. All right. I have a question here from Jake. Hi, Jake. What do you think about a drive-through video? I think this is a fantastic idea already. From a four-wheeler using either GoPro cam or a 360-degree camera for the buyer to get the lay of the land. Jake, I can't think of anything better. How cool would that be? Just for your, I mean, that's probably the next thing. A drone, you're coming in, from the aerial and all that, but like being there on the ground and kind of feeling it, like almost getting to, so close to the trees, you can almost smell them, and you see the dust rising up as you're driving through your property, and you're just, talk about selling it to that person. I think that's an excellent idea, and I love it. All right. Jake asks, do you have a system or method to collect testimonials? This is good. Or does anyone in the community have a good method to develop testimonials? I got 3 people that I can refer you to right now, Jake. One of them is us. And what I do is I usually get organic testimonials. I can only think of one time that I went out. It was we were redoing Land Academy, the website, like a year and a half ago. And I actually went out and I put it out there to all of our members and asked for testimonials. And I got such great stuff back. So that's one way. But now mostly what I get is organic testimonials. And then I check with each person, hey, can I use this or parts of this? It's great. And then I use that. Luke Smith does a good job, and I know he has testimonials on some of his things, but my favorite is Landio. I think it's Tori Watson's site, but go to Landio, LANDIO.com. He's our man, and he has great testimonials that he has people complete for, when they bought the property, and they'll talk about how great the property is, or maybe how great the transaction was, how easy it was. And it is a excellent way. This is one of the things that we didn't think about back when we were doing our land selling site. We had eBay feedback, which was great. And I love that. So anyway, I would just organically collect feedback, but he goes out and, and asks for people to do that. And I think it's an awesome way to sell your business and brand yourself. So excellent question. Hello, Autumn. Autumn asks, what is your most common exit strategy for newbies if you can't get the land sold and you can't hold on to it either? Has this happened to you when you get started? You know what, Autumn? I'll tell you right now, there are 2 reasons why property doesn't sell, and it's really it. And when you sit down and think about it, you go, oh yeah, that's right. One is you paid too much for the property. So what happens then? You're asking too much for the property. So that's number 1. So, and the other reason is something's not selling is you're just not reaching the right people perfectly, and it's priced perfectly, and you only have it on Craigslist. That's your other reason. No one's getting it. So you need to go back and look at that. You either overpaid or you're not reaching the right people. If you really want to get rid of something quick, there's 2 ways you can do it. One is within our group. Some of our members have sold property to other members and just kind of said, hey, I know I'm letting it go. I'm wholesaling it. I'm double wholesaling, and I'm wholesaling it to a wholesaler. Does anybody want this? Gosh, I need some quick cash. It's Christmas. I at least, I'll make something out of it. You could do that. The other thing is you could do a quick eBay sale. But usually to get your best money on eBay, and I'm going to do a whole show on this next year in 2019 as we roll into that. I will do a whole eBay show about marketing and selling and, 30-day $1 auction, no reserves, closing on a Sunday at dinner time, and how powerful that is. That just gives you a lot right there. But I'll go into great detail with that for you too. All right, let's see. All right, I'm looking to see here if I make sure I didn't miss any questions. So feel free, as you can see, just type them into the comments. Anything you want to ask, and anything about property or investing, I'm happy to answer it. I hope this was a beneficial show today, and I imagine a lot of people are like, they're probably like, just hurry up and tell me how I can win. So I'd like to have a few more questions before I dive into that. So I'm gonna hang in there. Um, I hope you guys are having. Oh, you know what? I have a lot of members here. I can tell that are watching. A lot of our active and current members. So if you want to share with me anything that you have going on, any great transactions, I have to share with you. This week is week 2. If you haven't caught it yet, we've changed our podcast up a little bit. And on Friday, we now call it Finance Friday. And it's Stephen, and it's a day off for me. But B, it's somebody else to listen to, and it's really cool. It's our member, Justin Sleva and Stephen Butala, and they are talking about deals that are being completed in our community, financed from our community. So it's Finance Friday, and it's really great to listen to. Okay, I got some more here. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing these numbers. This is always good to hear. Our group numbers, this is amazing. Here's how much data that we downloaded as a group. 967,483 lines of ownership data. That was scrubbed down to 115,011 offers mailed and 283 properties purchased. So what does that average out to? $2.83 million. And I have to tell you, we usually guess low because there's a lot of things that aren't reported to us, that the data gets pulled, offers go out, and then we don't often hear them because they're sold off people's buyers list. So they don't hit my radar. So they're not necessarily posted on Landpin where I can track them. So just so you know, that's just a snapshot of what our November looked like. And right now, going into December, I am blown away with the high volume of data being downloaded and the offers being sent out. And I cannot wait to see what the December results are going to be. It's awesome. Thank you, Jake. He says, I like y'all's relationship. Oh, podcast. Okay, we kind of did a whole week on relationships and different kinds of business relationships. It's still kind of all business relationships, but with partners, these, like Stephen and I partners versus I partner up with somebody else and do a deal partner, other people in Land Academy, creating partnerships. So we talked about all kinds of good stuff on our show here. So great. Hi, Doug. So Doug asks, in chapter 2, Jack refers to data tree. Why? To find the number of SFRs for the red, yellow, green test. Yep. We don't have data tree, and I'm having trouble gaining that info from Title Pro or Wheelcrest. I hope this question isn't wrong for this venue. You're so sweet. It's a little hard for me to answer right here without showing you, but you can get that in RealQuest, and you can get it for free. You're not downloading the records. So you know how you go. I'm going to I'm going to answer your question here, Doug, and I want everybody else to hear this too, because this is the stuff that we talk about. So when you're into RealQuest and you're doing your download, and it's the same thing that you're doing your red, yellow, green, like a zip code. You can put a zip code in because you're probably doing info lots here. That's why we're doing it. You can put in a zip code in RealQuest Pro, and you can put in the size, whatever zoning parameters, whatever information you have. And when you get to the page where it tells you how many records there are before you download, there's your snapshot of what you're trying to get. So that's the number that you can plug in. We actually covered that in one of our live events because it came up, how do I do this in RealQuest? And we can please ask that again. If that doesn't answer that, you have more questions about it, on our member call tomorrow afternoon at 3:00, please ask that, and I'll have Steven there and he can show you too. So excellent question. Hello, Teddy. Teddy asks, how can I figure out which property to post on which social media outlet? So if I missed this, excellent question. Every property, every social media. If you're doing it, and here's one of the beautiful things. We set up land pin this way by design. I don't know of any other land selling website that does this, but on our land selling website, Land Pin, when you create your account, you can link it to your Facebook and your Twitter, and I think there's one other, I can't remember, might be Google, but you can link up those accounts automatically. And then once your property's done and posted, or you could just, even at any random time, you can go in and click on your property and click, and it'll share it to Facebook automatically and share it. And then if you want it, so it shares it to your page, whether it's your personal page or your business page, however you have it set up in Facebook for your properties. Then from there, you could post it out to different groups and do it from there. So let me give you an example. So you have a great property it's in Oklahoma on a lake, and the Oklahoma fishing community need to know about this. If every fisherman in Oklahoma saw this, it would sell in 5 minutes. Okay, so what you do is post it in Land Pin, share it to probably your business page. Then from there, just search for those groups, the Oklahoma fishermen's groups, USA fishermen on Facebook, whatever it is, Tulsa fishermen, and just share that property, that for sale property in those groups. And you can do this in 15 minutes. It's very easy to do. And that's how you get it out in front of them. And then what you'll do is it'll drive them back to your site where they can see more details of property. And if they love it, check out and buy it. Excellent question. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Land Academy, for joining in here. And this is Steven right here. I can tell answering these questions. So he's sharing in that both RealQuest and Title Pro have easy ways to get the SFR counts per zip code. So that's all you're going to do. And Aaron's going to help you. Just said Aaron will help you there too. So, all right, Jake. Thank you. That's cute. Put a little note in there. We were having a discussion on one of our relationships. I don't know. We go. If you haven't listened to our podcast, it's kind of fun, and that's a beautiful example of Stephen and I getting silly on our podcast. So we often go into it's business related. We answer good questions. We talk about property and share a lot of information. But you know what? We're here to have fun too. So we often will get into little side tangents like we did that day. And I think it was discussing Stephen taking off different layers as we're going through our shows, and that was really funny. So that's good. And you can hear our podcast on iTunes, and you can watch it if you want on YouTube. We do it there too, and it's released Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. We do a whole show every day, and they're released about 3:00. So check them out. So, I have a message that was forwarded to me from a Michael. It says, Jill, any major issues when trying to flip land while living out of the United States? Your help is appreciated. No, and thank you for bringing that up now, Omar and Michael. And that was one of the things about this show and last week's show. I'm trying to show you how you could do this, a couple hours on a weekend while having a full-time job. And I never had you go stand on the property. Everything that you're doing is, in your home office on a Sunday afternoon, because you might be overseas. You might be in the military overseas. You might be a professor, on teaching a semester abroad. I don't know. You could live abroad. We have a lot of international customers that live in other countries who are citizens of other countries buying and selling land in the United States. So excellent question. You do not have to be a citizen of the United States to own property in the United States. Excellent. Oh, I like this. Skylar. Hi, Jill. What can I do to prepare for the next year? Excellent question. And you know what? My partner in crime, Stephen, is going to love my answer on this because this is how Stephen rolls. you're going to create some systems. That's the best thing you can do, is make things easier on yourself. Create systems, create checklists, create spreadsheets, and follow your steps and hold yourself accountable. Use your calendar, schedule things out. Now the Jill part to me is, make it reasonable. If you could do something and I know I can get that done next weekend, but I'm not sure I might stick to it. All right, give yourself 2 weekends or give yourself 10 days to complete a task. I'm okay with that. That's the Jill part of this, the inspiration of this. He's information, I'm inspiration. And as you know, I Jillify things a bit. So give yourself realistic goals, but then you better stick to those realistic goals. So excellent question, Skylar. That's what I want you to do. I guess we're having a little, should I resend this history report? Okay, this is great. You guys are, good thing my team's on here. My team's answering questions and helping out, guys. So this is great. For callbacks. Oh, thank you. Teddy asked, for callbacks, do you suggest an answering service or me personally answering the phone? Don't like dealing with too many people at one time. Haha. Thank you again. So you know what? If you can afford it right away, I would just set up Pat Live. I would do a service like that. That's what we do. And as a member, Land Academy members, everyone gets 20% off, flat 20% off. That's the max I could get from them off their service. So I would set that up, especially as you get going. If you can't afford it in the beginning, I really want you to try to answer your phone. It's not as effective having a voicemail and Google Voice and texting. Some of these sellers are old school, and I don't want you to miss those calls and miss those opportunities to buy those properties. So I would do that if you so. And then as soon as you can afford it, especially with your volumes ramping up, I don't want you spending a lot of time on the phone. I only want you talking to the people that want to sell. So I want you to set up Pat Live. They'll answer the calls for you. They'll weed out the ones that aren't interested. So you only call back the ones that are interested. That's the best use of your time. Christopher Wolf says, hi, Jill. Love the show. Do you have any info about House Academy? Release date, price, etc. As a beginner, should I get into Land Academy first? This is an excellent question. Okay, so here's what's happening, and I will give you all the information that we have decided so far. House Academy is coming March 1st. I do not have a price yet. Can you start flipping houses by jumping into Land Academy with version 1.0 and 2.0? The answer is yes. We have a number of members that started with Land Academy 1.0, started figuring it out and asking the right questions on our calls and our shows and piecing together House Academy on their own, and that are doing it successfully. Then we handed them 2.0, and that gave them even more information how to make it even better. So right now, House Academy, I know the ebook is almost done. Stephen should have that by the end of the year, so you'll have that. But we're going to launch it March 1st in a big, big way, House Academy. So, here's the thing. You don't have to wait. And I always take care of my people first. So everybody who's been with us for a while knows that. Whenever I come up with something new, I always give it to my people first. I give it to them at a way different rate. And it's always, they get first dibs. And so we might pre-release, because we've done this in the past, I might pre-release House Academy to our current members and then roll in the general public. So that's usually how it goes. So if you want to wait and just dive into that, that's not a bad plan. But gosh, if you're ready to go and you want to start learning a lot now, it would probably be good to jump in now, because by the time you have House Academy, you'll already have the foundation of the mail and the data and the way we look at things. And then this last piece will just put it all together for you. So excellent question. I have a long success story that's been shared on our website. So I'm going to take a moment. This is going to, instead of Let me see if I can put it up here and I'll read it. It's going to cover me for just a second here, but this is a good to share. And then I think I'm going to wrap up with a success story. And then I'm going to give you the details on how you can win a free program, because that's the big thing for today. All right, so here is the story. Bear with me a second. It's been a few months since I started following the program and finished my first deal. So I sent out a 1,000-unit mailer and got one person that wanted to sell. Only one person, because I messed up on the mailer. Bear with me one second. It's kind of hard to see on my screen a little bit here. Because I messed up on the price. The deal was for $1,200 for a 5-acre property in San Bernardino County. I bought it and sold it for, shucks, I can't see how much, but I sold it immediately. So I want to say it's $3,000 immediately. I made mistakes in almost every step of the deal. Mistakes with my mailer, made mistakes my offer price. So I got yelled at quite a bit, had awkward phone calls, got the deed wrong, screwed up recording the property with the county, spent way too much time with bad deals. So I learned a ton. I love it. I think my learning curve was this big because I knew nothing about real estate until very recently. Because of that, it took a bit more time than expected, but I got it done and my next deal would be so much easier and faster. The thing that I surprisingly love was working with data. I think it's hilarious because I never thought I'd be the kind of person who would enjoy handling data. This is fun. I am really looking forward to my progress from now on. Thanks, Steve and Jill. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. And we always try to prepare you for this happening. You will make some mistakes. You made them all on the first one, so I kind of like that's even better. You got them really all out of the way on one deal, and it sounds like you still made some money, so that's great. Mistakes are going to happen. Big deal. You move on. You learn. And that's what this is all about. And we're here to save you. And I love that you're getting into data, because that's what this is all about. So excellent. Thank you for sharing. All right, I am going to right now dive in and show you on the screen my big announcement here. Bear with me. This is good. All right, so here it is. You can I'm giving away a free Land Academy 1.0 and 2.0 plus first month's membership included for free. And here is how you do it. You need to, so in this show, episode 9, I want you to tag 3 friends in the comments section, typing in your questions, tag 3 friends. And how you do that, you put at, not me, but you could put at, like at Jill DeWit, at Steve Butala, whoever you want to tag. And then I want you to type in, I want to join Land Academy. And then after that, all you need to do is send me an email with your Facebook username so I can go back and put the 2 together and send it to support@landacademy.com. And that is it. The deadline to do this is noon Pacific time next Tuesday. So that's December 18th. By the way, in case you were curious, next Tuesday, December 18th, happens to be Steven's birthday. So if anyone wants to give him a shout out on social media, Tuesday is the day to do that. That is his birthday. So, and then on the next day, Wednesday, the 19th, will be show number 10. So that will be the last show for me this year, show 10. And I am going to have I'm not only going to announce the winner of the free program on the show. I'm going to have a special episode featuring Land Academy member Joe Martin, who is going to share with us his experiences and about a life-changing event that happened to him this month. So big show. You're not going to want to miss it. I'm going to show this again in case you missed it real quick here. Here's what you do for the drawing. Okay, so you want to, in this episode 9, in the comments area, tag 3 friends and type in, I want to join Land Academy, and send an email with your Facebook username to support@landacademy.com. And then you will be automatically entered into the drawing. And that's going to happen throughout this weekend. So you have lots of time to do this. Well, don't wait. You want to get in there. You don't want to forget, but spread the word. How about that? If you know anybody that's interested, you think might be interested, spread the word. Tell them to watch the show, get in the drawing. You never know who's going to win. I'll announce it next week, a week from today. That'll be show 10 with Joe Martin. Thank you for joining me today. I am Jill DeWit from Land Academy. I'm here to help you get started. That's the hardest part.